I've lost countless of times on the S&P 500 trying to short against a massive rally on a day where it just keeps squeezing higher and slowly grinding up. In this video, I'm going to show you what I see on the order flow to actually avoid all of those losses and try to catch like the top of the market. Even though the levels are great, levels of supply and levels of resistance, they just don't work out on these type of rallying days. So if you've been in the same position as me and you keep losing on these top reversals when the prices keep squeezing up higher, make sure to watch until the end of the video and I'm going to give you all the tips that you need. Alright, so market's about to open here, and in the previous week we had this balanced range that went on for like 2, almost 3 days, and we were just chopping about in there. And then now overnight on the new week, gap down, then immediately recovered and filled that gap, and now we're coming in with a lot of strong buying, like right before market open, as you can see here on the book map. A lot of strong buying came in, so it'll be interesting to see what happens now. This is previous obvious resistance level, but we still have this gap that needs to be filled from 2 weeks ago or last week's opening. So yeah, that's still not filled. On Nasdaq it has been filled, so gotta be cautious here to not get faked out and wanting this long for the gap fill and forgetting about this resistance that's here. So that's still a possibility. So I'm gonna be looking for, if price can hold and like support over here and it's not really selling off, we build potentially like a lot of volume, maybe break out above the Friday, last week Friday high and support over there, then I might be interested in looking for longs targeting that gap fill at 76. So yeah, that's basically my plan. Another one of my scenarios is a drop down into the support level, but I don't think, at least not right now, that will happen, at least with all this strong buying coming in. A lot of strong buying coming in right now. About to take out Friday's high. Nasdaq is not close to Friday's high yet, but it is above resistance, so it's looking pretty good right now. Nasdaq is kind of supporting on top of these pre-market highs now, so let's see what develops here. Would maybe like to see like a dip under these two here recent lows on top of this high here of the pre-market or market open, that then gets supported with that same aggressive buying, like what is happening right now. A little bit of a deeper pullback I'd like to see, stopping out those late buyers here. Yeah, I would have wanted to see a little bit of a deeper pullback. Now it's gone. A lot of strong buying on still, and kind of finding acceptance above Friday's high. If we could get a sharp pullback now into like these 62s, I would like that, where this consolidation range can defend, because these previous sellers are now in pain, price is moving up, and these buyers are too strong right now. Thing is, it's moving up and my targets are getting hit for longs, so it's getting a little bit trickier now. Yeah, so this thing is right now just leaving without me. Still have one target left for longs, which is the gap fill, but that's literally like 4 points away right now. So I would need to get at least some pullback into like these 64s, 65s to look for a long with a stop at the 60s. So we're building a lot of volume now here at the high, which is kind of a good thing. We're building volume here at the high. There's this area of lower volume where we rallied from pretty strongly. Then we have this area here of structure and consolidation where buyers or sellers kind of got trapped and then buyers pushed to the upside from there. So I'll be looking for this area if we get pullback, because previous week's high is at 68.75. We're kind of building volume above that right now, so we need to see if we're going to fail above that or accept higher prices. There's some bids sitting here as well, where there were some offers sitting before and buyers just blasted through it. Footprint bar just closed bearish, but still with a lot of positive delta on the CVD. Buyers are way too strong right now, and it'll probably go straight to my target of 76. Target filled, supported perfectly on previous week high, which was here at the 68.75s. Nothing to do there. I'm not comfortable longing here. I want a deeper pullback, and it is what it is. As you can see, previous week high supported perfectly a couple of times, 3 times almost, and we rallied straight from there towards the gap fill. Fortunate that we couldn't get really a part of it. I knew the buying was strong. I knew that there were these obvious targets, but there's just no way for me to get in that makes sense and that I could do in a repeatable process. I could have just pressed buy anywhere, but it might have been too risky, and in another scenario would I have done it again another 100 times? Probably not. So that's why I just waited, stayed out of it. It's a Monday. There you go. Look at that spike after that gap filling. Yeah, that's probably it for me today. I don't really know how to short any of this. Not really the biggest fan of shorting right now, and my long targets have all been hit. That's probably it for me today. I'll stay a little bit longer on the charts, but I'll see what happens. So let's take a look at today. We gap down right into like the 80s and literally immediately reversed from there, consolidated more upside, and then we retraced into that consolidation, and then it's straight up from there. So it basically is like a 100-point day already, and I wasn't able to catch this move here. I was waiting for a little bit of a deeper pullback, which is unfortunate, but that happens. So I wasn't able to catch anything of the upside. Already got a 100-point rally coming into resistance that I've marked here of previous price action. But what's in my head right now is, how do I go against all of this very, very strong buying even though it's at resistance, we just filled that weekly gap. Nasdaq is at supply as well, about to take out previous week high. So that's a little bit what's in my mind right now. Is it worth it to even look for shorts here? Because I've had it many times that I even get chopped up, take 3 losses in a span of like 5 minutes, trying to get a top reversal after a massive rally like this, and I don't really think it's worth it. So that's probably going to be it for me today. Unfortunate, but it's a Monday, so it doesn't really matter. At least there's no losses, and come back tomorrow when everything looks a little bit more clearer and have more clarity on which levels to trade from and how to trade them. Another thing I want to say is here in this scenario where I said, okay, like we have a 100-point rally on the day already, it would be interesting for me to look for shorts specifically at this level. But if I look at the context, it doesn't really make me comfortable to short after this whole move up. The only reason I would potentially look for shorts is if major intraday structure gets broken. That for me, the strength of the sellers gets confirmed. So right now here on the book map, or you can look at it on the chart. On the book map, it represents this 69 level, the low of this consolidation range where sellers tried to break it down, but they were unable to, and they got absorbed by the passive buyers, and then the aggressive buying came in that rallied straight up to our targets. So I would wait for this low, for example, to get broken, and then wait for a pullback to see that the sellers are actually in control and they have the strength to bring the market to the downside. This represents now here as well the exact same level here on the chart around the 69s, which is just by accident. It's actually previous week high, so that would be an extra confirmation for me that if we break down under this and these buyers all get trapped at the highs, we break down under this and the selling is strong, we can get in on a pullback, and that means that we're back inside of previous week's range. That would be like a perfect scenario for me to look for shorts, but for now I got nothing to do, don't want to be a part of this, and I'll just sit back and wait. Another thing I want to note here as well is on a day like this where we just rally straight up, if you have these periods of consolidation where the selling maybe sometimes seems strong or very heavy, that to me usually leads to another like move to the upside, because that selling is just getting absorbed until we break like an actual decent low. And then here you see that again, very heavy selling that's not really making the market go down. It's not really even breaking the most recent low, and that selling just gets absorbed by passive buyers, and then we move up again and break the high. Now here, look again, this heavy selling that just came in, looks like it's gonna sell off, but it's not really moving down. Then those sellers get trapped again, and then price might move up now again and break high day. So we'll see. It looks like it's gonna happen now anyway. And that's how I took so many losses before in the past, and that's why now I wait for these more significant lows to get broken and then wait for a pullback to actually look for shorts, because first I want to know if the sellers are actually in control and they have the power to bring the market down and not get trapped in these aggressive sellers that look very strong but they're not even making the market sell off for more than 5 points. And now you see again the high day is probably going to get broken now as I'm speaking. So it's just a little tip as well on these uptrending days to prevent taking a lot of unnecessary losses. So you see again here, if I zoom out a little bit on the book map on 5-minute time frame right now, or interval, you can see every time we had this massive amounts of selling that you look like, alright, these sellers are very strong, just moves up again very slowly. And then here again, took out high day by like tick maybe, or just didn't. And now there's some very heavy selling coming in. You can see that on the footprint as well. You can see this minus 1100 negative delta, which is now a resisting price actually as we speak. So this is looking a little bit more interesting. I'm not going to get into shorts just yet, because I'd still want this low to get broken, but this would be an interesting area right now probably to short if the context was different around these 77s. So yeah, you can see a lot of selling here. A lot of volume has been built right at the highest, the most amount of volume that we've traded so far in this day, intraday. So there's a big chance that that's gonna get taken out as well, because these high days don't get built on high volume. So we'll see what happens. We had a massive amounts of offers sitting above price, and that just disappeared. So maybe I'd say there's quite a high probability that we'll still sweep out the high day, but we'll see what happens. This is a lot of heavy selling coming in. So if this all gets absorbed and they're unable to break price down to the downside, then that high day is going to get taken out for sure. Probably get another rally after this, because this is just a rally. Now we're basing and consolidating, accepting these higher prices basically, and to then potentially break higher to the upside. So this is exactly what I was saying here after such a big move, like a 100-point move on the day on S&P 500, and you have this massive amounts of volume here at the high day after market open, and you see all this aggressive selling and massive amounts of selling everywhere. You see this massive negative delta and prices not really selling off, or the max you're getting out of the market are 5-point drops. That usually is going to lead to a bigger move to the upside and a break of that high day. You can see here in this consolidation range that happened, broke high day. Now we're seeing that here as well, that massive amounts of selling that only gets the market to sell off for like 5-6 points maximum, and then that just gets absorbed, all of it, by passive buying, and then we move up and break that high day, especially with all this volume here transacted as well. So there you go. That's just why I wait for this low like to get broken before I would start looking for shorts. So that's just a good overall tip to avoid getting chopped up and take a lot of losses on uptrending days when you're trying to short against it. This is exactly what I mean. That high day got taken out, and now we did pop into more resistance, a little bit higher, and we kind of got a decent amount of sell-off here, almost 10 points, but this is still not valid for me to short. Now I'd want probably this low here to get actually broken with a lot of heavy selling, and then look potentially for shorts. But it's probably going to be it for me today. Probably going to walk away now. I feel like this is probably going to die down and the price action might get a little bit slower, so I don't really want to be a part of that. The volatility is not really what I want to see, but this is a very good lesson and a good day to practice patience and to also practice the knowledge that you can have as well for not trying to like short against a massive uptrend or try to catch a top reversal when this amount of buying is coming into the market and all the selling is getting absorbed, you know. So good day to practice patience and not take any trades, and to also be confident in your analysis that you don't want to short against this, and also to stay patient, to not try and chase those longs that I wanted so badly and that were pretty obvious to me. So yeah, I'm probably going to walk away now. I hope you enjoyed this analysis, and I hope you can take away something from it. And if you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.